Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to work on a Crockpot video. This Crockpot video is called Crockpot Creamy Potato and Ham Soup. I had some ham that I wanted to get rid of, so I decided I needed to find a recipe to combine with that, maybe some pantry ingredients, and that way I could, get rid of what I have. So, here we are. You're going to need 3 pounds of potatoes cut into quarters. Recipe calls for the small round potatoes. All I had was russet, so I just peeled those and tried to meet the pound or the size needed for the recipe. So I tried to get as close to 3 pounds as I could. So you're going to add that to your crock pot. You're going to add 1 cut up carrot. I just had some baby carrots and I just put just a small little handful in there. Half a cup to a cup, somewhere in between. And then the ham is left over from another recipe that I did. And you're supposed to have 3 cups of ham. I think this is probably more like 2 cups. And it's still frozen, so I'm just going to dump that in there too. Let me get some scissors. It's good ham, but you can use any kind of leftover ham that you have, especially after the holidays. This may be a good recipe for that. Also, 1 medium onion cut up. So we got that in there. And we're going to add some spices now. Some herbs, some spices. Calls for 2 teaspoons of parsley. I'm just going to put what I have in this little jar, which is about, not 2 teaspoons. It's probably 1 to 1.5. Not a big parsley fan. Now this one, love thyme. Thyme is like one of my favorites, and you're going to need about a teaspoon of thyme. Love thyme. Alright, and some pepper. Black pepper preferably, but you could use any type. And that's it as far as ingredients go until we get to the other part of our recipe. And before, we got to add this before we forget. I had some leftover chicken broth from some chicken that I was boiling yesterday. So I took the broth that was left over, put it in the freezer, and I was like, I'll just use that today. So I've been trying to do that so that my dishes that I make, recipes I make, are a little bit more flavorful. So we will have to come back. We have to add heavy cream and some instant potato flakes. And we got to do a little bit of work at the end of this. So what we're going to do is go ahead and put this on low for 6 to 8 hours. And then I'll come back this afternoon and show you the rest of it. And I think, let me look. The rest of the recipe should just take a little bit longer after we do the second part. So let this cook down, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, y'all, so when you get to the point that your potatoes are tender, you're going to go ahead and take about half of those out, and you're going to mash them, and then you're going to add them back in. And they don't have to be perfect, just mainly mashed. And this is going to help thicken the soup, make it more stew-like. Then we're going to take 1.5 cups of heavy cream. Now I mixed mine with some milk, so it wouldn't be so concentrated. We'll go ahead and pour that in. And that's going to make it creamy, of course. So let me stir that. Now, at this point, it's very thin. It's not very thick at all. So I'm going to take 1 cup of instant potato flakes, and you're going to add those. You may not need the whole thing, so I'm just going to add it as I go. I'll go ahead and add some more. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and add all of it. Okay. So now you're going to go ahead and put this back on your heating element for your crock pot. And you're going to cook this another 15-20 minutes or so. Because we got to heat it back up. The milk and the cream kind of cooled it off a little bit. And that'll be it. I'm going to add some more pepper. And some more salt. So, I'm not going to show you the finished product because it's going to look the same. It's just got to thicken up just a tad. But really easy and simple. Perfect for the cold weather. And it shouldn't take much for you to make. It shouldn't take much time, and it shouldn't take much effort, and it shouldn't take much money. Okay, y'all, so this is the finished product. It thickened up nicely. I just 15-20 minutes in the crock pot on low, just a little bit past cooking time with the mashed potato flakes added, and it did perfect. It thickened up to what I wanted it to. You may not have to use the whole cup of flakes, so keep that in mind. I would do it a little bit at a time just to see if it's your desired likeness. Okay, make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to make a pretty simple crockpot recipe. Everybody's heard of Mississippi pot roast. I've done Mississippi pot roast. I've done Mississippi meatballs. I don't even know what all I've done. This one's just another spin on that same recipe. This is Crockpot Mississippi kielbasa. So we're going to go ahead and get started. You need to take 28 ounces of kielbasa, which is roughly just 2 packages of the regular size package. So, and cut those up. Sorry, lost train of thought. Cut those up in about 2-inch chunks. So they're going to be kind of large. Not sliced, but chunks. You're going to add those to a slow cooker that has been sprayed on the inside. So we got that done already. You're going to add 1/3 cup of water. You're going to sprinkle au jus gravy mix. So au jus gravy mix over the top of this, if I can get it open properly. Doesn't have to be perfect. Sprinkle it over the top. Okay. And then we're going to put our ranch seasoning mix or ranch dressing mix. You're not going to mix it up. It's just the powder. And I'm just going to put maybe a couple tablespoons on there. But 1 packet will be enough. You're going to, I got it all over me. Take 1 stick of butter and cut it into thin slices. I just did like pats of butter. Sprinkle this throughout like that. And then, now, I use sliced peppers all the time. Sorry about that. I use sliced peppers all the time. And so I was just like, you know, I'm just going to put those in there. I'm not going to go and buy whole peppers. You can use 6 whole peppers if you have the whole ones. And I really don't like the whole ones, honestly. And I like these, and I can get these in mild or hot, and I like to use the hot ones, of course. So now we're going to put our peppers. You know what? We're supposed to stir this first. Okay, so after you add the gravy mix and the ranch seasoning, you're going to try to stir this up just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay? Now, after you do that, you're going to go ahead and put a whole stick of butter cut into smaller slices. I just did pats of butter. And then add your peppercini peppers. You can get whole ones. That's what the recipe calls for. And you're only supposed to use 6 of those. So we're going to pretend that these were whole. And I'm going to do about 6 bunches. Enough to add, equal up to be like a pepper. So that was 3, I think. And that's a little extra in case I miscounted. Alright, we're just going to do that many. That'll be enough. And I want to put just a touch of this in there. Just a touch. You don't have to do that. Alright. Finally. What was supposed to be a very simple recipe got a little complicated there for a second. So you're going to cook this on 2 to 3 hours on high or 4 to 5 hours on low. And before we serve, we're going to give it a good stir. So probably at the end of this, when this gets done, I'm going to come to you when it's done for the day. And I've got it plated up. Probably going to serve it over mashed potatoes. And you could do that or you could do egg noodles. But I'll see you back here in a few hours. 2 to 3 hours on high or 4 to 5 on low. See you back here this afternoon. Okay, y'all, so this is the finished product. I put it on some homemade mashed potatoes. The juice from everything works as a good, real thin, like gravy. Or sauce, I guess. But it smells great. It smells like Mississippi roast. So hopefully it'll taste just as good. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.